Hello and welcome back to Sax Wizard, the YouTube channel dedicated to helping you become a better sax player. If you do enjoy the video today, then make sure you drop me a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I'd absolutely love to see the Sax Wizard community grow here on YouTube and help more people around the world reach a point where they can really enjoy playing the saxophone. Today we're taking a look at how to keep your solos interesting when soloing over just one chord. The example that we're going to look at in this video is an A minor chord, but obviously the techniques and ideas that I'm going to talk about can be applied to any minor chord. We're going to look at 6 different ideas today. You can think of each of these ideas as a tool in your saxophone toolbox that you can pick and choose from. These tools will ultimately allow you to mix up your solos and keep them sounding interesting over just one chord. I'm going to start simple and get more and more advanced as the video goes on. This video is by no means an exhaustive list, it's just a few ideas which I personally like to use. Number 1, the pentatonic scale. One of the more obvious choices when soloing over an A minor chord would be to use the A minor pentatonic scale. If you are a beginner, then this is a fantastic place to start, but equally you can get really advanced with pentatonic scales. A pentatonic scale is just a 5-note scale. The minor pentatonic scale uses the 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 7th notes of the natural minor scale. The notes of the A minor pentatonic scale are A, C, D, E, and G. The great thing about the pentatonic scale is that it's really easy to create these lovely melodic phrases. This is because there aren't really any wrong notes in the pentatonic scale, so it's hard to go too wrong. Using the A minor pentatonic scale over an A minor chord might sound something like this. Number 2, pentatonic patterns. Leading nicely on from the minor pentatonic scale is using pentatonic patterns. Pentatonic patterns are just repeated patterns of notes within the pentatonic scale, and they're a really useful tool for creating licks. For example, you might play up one note, up another note, and then down one note. And this pattern would keep repeating again and again, moving up the A minor pentatonic scale. Another example of a pentatonic pattern would be skip one note down, up one note. And again, you'd keep repeating this pattern, moving through the pentatonic scale. When you're improvising, you can just repeat the pattern once for a short lick, or you can choose to repeat it multiple times for a slightly longer lick. And obviously you can try messing around with the rhythm too, it's completely up to you. Playing pentatonic patterns over an A minor chord might sound something like this. Number 3, the blues scale. If you want to add a little bit of extra colour to the pentatonic scale, you can add one extra note to turn it into the blues scale. By simply adding a flat 5th to the A minor pentatonic scale, you get the A minor blues scale. And it's amazing how much this one extra note completely changes the sound of the scale. The notes of the A minor blues scale are A, C, D, E flat, E and G. And it's that E flat, the flat 5, which we add to turn the minor pentatonic into the minor blues scale. I absolutely love the blues scale, it's such a versatile scale and you can create some really nice sounding licks using it. Playing the A blues scale over an A minor chord might sound something like this. Number 4, chord tones and chord tone extensions. If you want to mix things up a bit more, then you can start to think in terms of chord tones, and more importantly, chord tone extensions. For an A minor chord, the basic chord tones are A, C, and E. That's the root, the third and the fifth. Most of the time we can also assume that a 7 chord is being played, so we can add in the 7th, which is a G. But I would argue, why stop there? If you want to add even more colour and interest to your sound, then you can add in the 9th and even the 11th. The 9th is a note that's really going to add another dimension to your sound here, above and beyond the pentatonic scale. This is because if you play all the chord tones and chord tone extensions, so that's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 11, there's actually only one extra note compared to the pentatonic scale, and that's the 9th, which is a B in the example of A minor. But there's something about visualizing the notes this way in your head that creates a slightly different sound and a completely new set of licks. Playing chord tones and chord tone extensions over an A minor chord might sound something like this. Number 5. Chromatic Phrases. If you want to get slightly more advanced, then you can start to incorporate some chromatic phrases. Some people call these approach patterns. They can also be called chromatic enclosures, but we're basically just adding a bit more chromaticism to what we're playing. Typically, these chromatic phrases are based around or enclose a target note. And these target notes are typically chord tones. So for an A minor chord, these chord tones are A, C, E, and G. An example of a chromatic passage would be starting on a chord tone, play up one semitone, up another semitone, then down 4 semitones. You'll notice that the notes surround or enclose the target note, which in this instance is an A. Personally, I like to combine these chromatic patterns with 8-note bebop scales to create longer licks, but equally you can mix them into whatever you're playing. They also work really well combined with the pentatonic scale. Incorporating some chromatic patterns with various minor scales might sound something like this. Number 6, the half-whole diminished scale. The last idea that we're going to look at in this video is a little bit different. It's using the half-whole diminished scale. Diminished scale. Oh, that's a hard one to say. Personally, I find adding a small hint of the half-whole diminished really builds tension and creates quite an interesting sound. There are lots of different ways that you can incorporate diminished scales into your playing, and this is just one idea. There are 3 diminished scales in total to choose from. Each scale works over 4 different keys. The one to use over an A minor chord uses the following notes: A, B flat, C, C sharp, E flat, E, F sharp, and G. 4 of these notes are chord tones and can therefore be thought of as safe notes. These are A, C, E, and G. But the other 4 notes are not chord tones: B flat, C sharp, E flat, and F sharp. It's these 4 notes that build tension and create that unique sound. Some people refer to these notes as playing out because theoretically these notes shouldn't work over an A minor chord. You have to use this scale quite sparingly and with caution, and try not to land on or hold any of the notes which are not chord tones. Just use them as passing notes. The skill here is moving from something like the A minor pentatonic scale briefly into the half-whole diminished and then back again smoothly. Easier said than done. Using the half-whole diminished over an A minor chord might sound something like this. Obviously, when you're soloing, you're going to be mixing and matching all of these different scales and ideas together. It's the blend of these different ideas that's going to help you create a really great solo. So as a final demonstration, I'm going to mix and match all of the different techniques that we've looked at in this video to hopefully create an interesting solo. you did enjoy the video today and you learnt something new, then please drop me a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this one. Thanks so much for listening. See you next time.